What's the most painful thing you were wrongfully accused of? My neighbor's 7-year-old daughter used to come over to my house almost every weekend just to finish my snacks, but I never stopped her because I liked the company, even if she didn't say much. She was loud when she came in, quiet the rest of the time, always walked straight to the couch, pointed at the TV, and told me to put on Moana or Frozen, and I always did. Then she'd sit there with her legs folded, chewing biscuits and drinking juice while I worked or cleaned, sometimes even helping me fold towels or rinse the dishes if I was cooking. And she never asked for anything, never demanded toys or attention or anything strange, just movies and maybe an extra pack of Capri Sun if I had one in the fridge. Her name was Ada, and her mom, Chinyere, ran a salon down the road and was barely ever home, always working late, always looking tired, and I think Ada liked it better here because it was calm and quiet and no one was asking her to sweep hair or carry stuff or sit still while clients yelled on the phone, so it became an unspoken thing, but she'd show up with crumbs on her shirt and hair in tiny braids, and I'd unlock the door and nod, and she'd walk past me like we'd lived together for years. One day, I was working from home, typing emails in bed, window cracked open to let in some air, and I heard voices outside, and it was one of my nosy neighbors, Margaret, talking to Chinyere, and I didn't even look up until I heard my name. Margaret asked her, "Why do you let your daughter go to that man's house all the time? Do you even know what he's capable of? What if he touches her inappropriately?" And I just sat there frozen with my hands on the keyboard. Chinyere said no and defended me and told her Ada liked it there, and I had never done anything and there was no reason to worry, but Margaret kept going and told her it's always the ones you least expect, and told her I could be dangerous and I could be grooming her and no one would know until it was too late, and I didn't move the entire time, just sat there listening to the sound of someone ruining me without ever opening my door. The next day I heard a soft knock, and it was Ada holding a half-eaten biscuit and waiting to come in like nothing happened, and I didn't answer. I hid and stayed perfectly still like a coward, and watched the handle twitch and then go still again. But a few seconds later, I heard her mother's voice, sharp and angry, and then footsteps leaving fast, and then the sound of her being whipped with something hard and her crying, and I didn't move or open the door or even stop it. And that was the last time Ada came to my house. But after that, she started spending her time at Margaret's, and I'd see her sometimes from the window, walking over with a plastic bag in her hand, sometimes waving at the security guard, but never looking in my direction. And I told myself it was better this way, and at least she was still being watched by someone, even if it wasn't me. But then yesterday, I got home late and saw police cars everywhere, lights flashing against the buildings, neighbors outside whispering, so I asked someone what happened, and he looked around like he wasn't supposed to say it, and then told me Margaret had been arrested. I asked him arrested for what, and he looked straight at me and told me she'd been molesting young girls in the neighborhood, even Ada. Suddenly I couldn't move or breath. I just stood there with my keys in my hand and my body numb. Apparently one of the girls she'd been abusing got angry when Margaret kicked her out because Ada was there, and she told her mom everything, and the mom didn't believe it until she came back and caught Margaret in the act, naked, on top of Ada. And that's when she screamed and people started running and the police were called, and I started crying because I had genuinely grown bond with Ada, and to think that she was safer with me than her own gender was a truth too bitter to swallow.